it looks it in time.
You'll be right.
All right. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
We're back.
Can we even do this? Okay, this is the intro. What's up? For those of you guys who are on Patreon, you will notice that we look the same.
And we sound the
It's
same.
Probably uploaded on the same day. And we're... Oh, the dog's walking.
It's fine. It's fine. Lucy's an honorary member of the podcast.
Dude, I feel like she's getting dementia lately. I don't know why.
How old is
feed
she?
her-
How old is she?
15.
Yeah, well, fucking
So
teenagers,
I
bro.
feed her
Teenagers.
at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And then she eats it, and then like 3 hours later, she's like back for food again. But I know she will always take food, but I feel like she looks at me like she hasn't been fed.
Yeah. You just got to
Which
tell
pisses
her.
me
You
off
just
as
got to be
well.
like, no. I love you, but no.
And like every time so it's weird. Like every time I sit on the couch now, she doesn't want to sit on there with me, which is what she does to my mum. But now because mum's not here, she's quarantining with her mum.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I don't get it. But like, I think she's going a bit loopy because like I can't walk her. She's just been inside for.
Yeah. Is your mum coming
however
home
many
after the 2
days.
weeks? Your 2 weeks?
She'll come home after 2 weeks. Yeah. Well, I mean, it should be like pretty soon. I was meant to call her today. Fuck.
Is she working?
No.
Interesting. I think I might be able to go back to work. Benji said so, which is good.
Mm.
Is that?
I think my boss wants me back. Yeah, he's rang me 5 times. I haven't answered any of them. Over 4 days, he's rang me.
I mean, your job, you're like outside and you don't really see anyone, so it's not that bad.
Mm. Exactly. It doesn't really it's not that bothers me. It's like the fact that I don't want to go back, and that like me and Leah are probably going to move to Sydney. So I'm like, do I want to come back for a little bit?
Mm.
Like, is it even going to be?
Wait,
I don't know.
are you guys?
We're thinking about going to Sydney, but I'm like, how the fuck are we going to get there if the borders are closed or whatever?
I mean,
but I guess it's
you can
essential
still
travel.
get there, but I mean, I'm assuming you're gonna go live with Leah's mum to start with, and if or not the whole time. But
Yeah.
are you looking for work, or are you guys just gonna send a link it up and just live like kings?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll probably send a link until I get a job. Jimmy says he knows someone there that'll take me for work. Like,
Oh yeah.
in a second.
If you're doing,
But I also want to start like Twitch streaming games and stuff. So I'm like, now's a better time than ever to
to really dive
become
into
a
it for
fucking-
sure.
Yeah,
This is
or
like the
a
best
fucking
time
hermit and then just
to
commit.
fully commit to onlining anything. Like if you
Exactly.
can build your profile in like the next month or so, like you'll pretty much be set.
Yeah.
That's why I
and
wanted to do the podcast, because like we have Patreons and like we're literally doing nothing.
And everyone's bored as fuck. Yeah, everyone's got nothing else they do. They're like, fuck, I'm subbing to these people, paying like $5, $10, $15 a month,
Yeah.
and they're not putting out anything. So we're fucking putting it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like this method will work the way that we're gonna do it, like edit it together.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
mean, until we can actually see each other, then
Yeah, exactly.
which will
we
be
can
like
still
next week. But I think we need to have something
Yeah.
out before then.
Well, I guess next week it'll still be like the 2-person gathering, but I
Yeah.
mean, no one's gonna be policing houses.
Yeah. Well, the cops came to my house. Do you remember?
Yeah, so you want to tell people.
Anyway, we'll get there by the end of this episode. So
Oh, true, yeah,
we finished the last episode. We were leaving Atlanta. We had no idea the future of the world held.
No, we didn't actually.
So we leave Atlanta and we have an 8-hour drive to Columbus, Ohio, and
Which you smashed.
we have a day off. And I was in my mind, I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I'm gonna try and get like at least 4 hours, at least, and it's 8-hour drive. And I'm like, but if we get to 4 hours and I feel good, I'm going through. I'm going all the way. So, Marshall, I'm in my right open road in front of me. I'm like, let's fucking go. We leave Waffle House. We leave Chelsea behind and leave the girls. I drove like an hour, got to a petrol station. Marshall goes, how long do you reckon you'll drive for? And I'm like, at least 2 or 3 hours. I got at least 2 or 3 hours up me.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I might as well buy 2 Four Locos and drink
That's right.
drink and stay awake with you. And I'm like, he obviously knows what a Four Loco is, but like, they're both like 10%. And when you get too
Huge.
drunk,
And they're like
you fall.
750 mil
When
too.
you get too drunk, you always fall asleep. Like alcohol's a depressant. So the end result is you might get amped at the start, but you're always gonna get tired.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Marshall.
Especially when you're not doing anything too, when you're just sitting there.
Yeah. So Marshall's drinking. We get to this truck stop, and Marshall has a dart, and I'm like, you know what? You know what's gonna keep me going? I just got to smash.
Sickies.
I just got to smash some darts here. So every time we stopped, I punch a dart, and I'm like, let's fucking go. I'm awake.
Because it gets you like
the
a little bit of a
nicotine
head
is
spin,
coursing,
like,
coursing
let's
through
go.
my veins, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm fucking on the road, mate. I'm like, shut up, Stacey. I got this.
I think the rest of us were asleep too. It might have just been actually no. I jumped in and co-piloted the last part of the drive. I think.
Yeah, you woke up and you saw me, and I'm just like, what's up, man? Let's fucking go.
Marshall had his four locos. Yeah, he polished one off, and then he had. Like,
He polished
half of the
1.5,
second one.
1.5 Four Locos before
And
he
then
passed
was going
out.
on the second half. He was like,
Yeah, I was watching him, and I was like,
sorry,
I was
guys
like,
at home. He was like,
I was like this. I'm like,
Bassy had his
I'm like,
eyes
Marshall.
fucking wide.
I'm like, Marshall, you can go to sleep if you want, mate. I'm fine. I'm fucking fine, mate.
So Marshall had like his arms crossed, and his head was like, he was like, you know when you doze off and you're like, and then you wake up because you're leaning.
like this.
Oh fuck! And I tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, Marsh, mate, go to bed. I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Because I had a bit of a sleep.
It was
or
like
whatever.
8 hours of like, we drove like 2 hours. We'd stop at a truck stop, have a ciggy, and then just keep going. And I was just doing that over and over. 2 hours,
Just
bang.
resetting
2
and
hours,
keeping-
ciggy. 2 hours, ciggy. And then the last stop was like, I think we were 2 hours out. And I stopped and I had a ciggy by myself. And I was like, I'm a fucking maniac. Why have I done this? I get in the car and it's bright as outside. It's like 7 a.m. And then I just hear Gibbo go, you know you can stop, man. And I'm like, I'm going the whole way. I'm going the whole way.
Because like the idea behind that was like, I mean, even though we were on our way to
Columbus.
where was it? It was Lakewood, right?
Columbus.
Columbus. So we stopped there. We were going to search for like a T-Mobile for Gibbo too because he didn't have a SIM yet. And so we're like,
My whole theory was like, if we get there, we have a whole day off in Columbus. We've never had a whole day off, so we can either write or like write for a little bit, do laundry, do whatever, regroup, chill, whatever. As long as we had, but like technically we would have had a day and a half off.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
we would have been chill. Like everyone could reset. It was fine, whatever.
Yeah.
We get there. I like stop at this Starbucks, which is like 40 minutes out, and I'm like, I need a coffee. I need to fucking get a coffee in me.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting that Starbucks coffee and drinking it. No, I think I didn't even get a coffee. I think you got a venti ice water, and I put a Barocca in it.
That's right. Yeah. So I remember that thing. It felt like we're in Sweden, man. The place that we stopped was so like
So
clean.
nice.
The sun was rising, and we're like, and you were like, you just reeked of like ciggies. Like you looked like insane. We got out.
I
and
was
it
like,
I
I was
forgot about
like,
that, actually.
have you ever watched Always Sunny in Philly?
No, I haven't.
Oh, bro, there's like this scene. You've probably seen the meme of it. The dude's in like the mail room, and he's got like all these pins on the wall with like different mail and shit. And he's just like, the fucking mail, bro. That was me, like driving. I'm just like fucking thinking about my whole life, just like chain smoking ciggies.
So, because that's right. Because when I woke up, because I'd gone to bed maybe straight after Waffle House.
Yeah.
And so I woke up and I was ready for the day because I had like 6 hours sleep or something. And I woke up when it was still sunny. When
You
when the
woke
sun
up at
had
like
risen,
8 in the morning.
almost.
8
Like
in the
It
morning.
was light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like light. The sun was still kind of just coming up, and then we stopped at the thing, and then it was weird because like I felt great,
Yeah.
and you like you were acting fine. You were acting great.
Oh,
but
I mean,
I knew.
To be honest, when
pain.
you woke up, I actually felt fine. Like I was in
Yeah.
that 2 hour period. There's like a 2 hour period I've noticed every time I've done like all nighters. There's a 2 hour period where you're sane, and then once that 2 hours is over, you notice it instantly. You're the most delusional motherfucker on the planet. Like, there's nothing you say makes sense. You guys were like going to get food and stuff after we went to Guitar Center. After that, like we got to Columbus fine. I'm like, after that Starbucks, I'm like, it's 40 minutes. I have to do it. I stayed awake all night. I need to get us there.
Because Gibber was like, I can drive. You're like, no, I'll be a failure. If
I
don't do
need
it.
I need to get us to the town, and then I'll give up all the reins. I got us to like the laundromat, and I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And then
So Gibbo got his T-Mobile and stuff, and then like you, because we stopped at T-Mobile first, and then you just like,
I was just like,
you
put my shit in the
zonked out
wash,
for,
and I was just
20
like,
minutes.
I think I smoked a joint with Marshall, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I think I had like a half ciggy, half joint thing, and I was just like, what is happening? What is my life? What is happening?
And we're kind of, this is like when we were just hearing stuff, like kind of like going like, well, things are getting like bad COVID wise.
Yeah.
Like
I remember
there's some stuff happening there, there's some stuff
Nate-
happening here, but like also we also felt like it was still so far from us.
Yeah.
We're like, this is just like,
I
whatever.
remember
Like,
Nate
it's fine.
going. We had just left the laundromat and went to like a guitar center or something. Jamie needed to buy sticks or something like that.
Yeah.
And Nate was like, "Oh, I'm watching this thing. The mayor of Cleveland, of Ohio, is like talking about like the measures they're gonna take towards this COVID.
Yeah, it's like a live
outbreak."
stream.
And we're like, "Oh yeah, whatever." We're like, "Oh, we should probably watch that. Let us know what's happening. Like, let us know what happens. We're gonna go get Taco Bell."
Because we didn't think anything of it.
I think you
because
guys
he
were like,
was-
"We're
he
gonna
was, like,
we're
invested.
gonna go get Taco Bell. You let us know
Yeah.
what's happening." And he's like, "All right, cool." And then he's like, "Yeah, Cleveland mayor just said anything above 100 people cancelled.
Yep.
Cancelled." And we're just
So we're like,
we're
this
just like,
is strange because like the venue is probably like 200 cap, and we're like, when we hadn't heard anything from the TM
Yeah.
or
I
like
think Marshall
whatever, but
got a
we had
message
just
saying,
witnessed it live.
yeah, Marshall just goes, apparently Mike just goes, everything's as normal, everything's running the same, show's on tomorrow.
Yeah,
And we're like, that can't be, that's not right. Like, surely, like,
yeah. Marshall's like legally,
that
it
shows,
can't go ahead.
yeah, Marshall's like, legally, that's not going to happen. Like, that show's going to get shut down. Like, 24 hours, they'll find out, shut down. He's like, what are you guys, don't think about the tour. When are you guys flying home? Where are you flying from? Where do you need to be? And we're like, well, we're recording the album in Toronto, so we're flying out of Toronto. And Marshall's like, well, let's call Daryl. Let's keep an eye on this for the next hour, and we'll go from there. So we called Daryl, our manager, and we're like, Daz, Mayor of Cleveland.
Bit of a pickle.
Yeah, bit of a pickle, mate. Mayor of Cleveland just said show's not happening.
Was he the mayor?
Yeah, the mayor. He's like, sleep on
Such a
it.
funny
The
man,
sleep
such
on
a
it
funny
tour
job.
is not happening. I'm the mayor of Ohio, and the sleep on it tour is not happening. That's what he said.
Mayor just feels like such a fake job.
It's just this horse, this mayor. He's just there at the fucking thing. He's like,
Oh, but.
no. And
So we had the call
Yeah.
with we were on the call with our manager Daryl, and he was like, "All right, I'm just ringing around like to see like how bad it is, whatever." Like some promoters had cancelled some show, like Live Nation just announced that they had
they
cancelled.
cancelled their
some
whole
shows,
East Coast.
so, like-
They cancelled. So we heard the mayor. I'm pretty drunk. We heard the mayor say 100 people and under is fine, but anything over not happening. And then we'll like message Mike, the TM of our tour. He's like, show's going ahead. Whatever.
And we were sitting there like, I mean, I don't know, like everyone kind of had different points of view, but I was personally like, I don't want to play this show and then drive all the way to the next one just to find out it's going to get cancelled and then like borders start closing, because this is when shit started going like completely south.
Yeah.
And we're like, we have the album to record. It's booked in. Like some money has been put into it.
Yeah. We might as
Like half of us were like, should we just drive across the border right now so we're safe?
Yeah.
Or do we just like wait it out? And poor Gibbo, because Gibbo had just gotten there and he'd played 3 shows and he was kind of in the same vein. It's like, let's wait it out.
I felt
And
so
then like
bad
at
for
least
him.
me, Jamie, and Chris were like, dude, let's get the fuck to Canada.
Yeah, and then there's me, delusional as fuck, just going, nah, I don't know, man, whatever, just fucking just do it. I just drove us here. I just drove us like 10 hours for no
you
reason.
drove us here to have free time before the next show. And then so when this all
and
like sunk
I'm just
in,
like, let's go to a college party, man.
yeah. And so like by the time like, so we eventually made a decision like after stuff got cancelled, we're like, okay, 3 of the shows of the tour have been cancelled because Live Nation, the promoters, like pulled out or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, shit's just gonna keep following everyone else. So we'll detract from the tour. Like we are here to really record the record. We need to record this record. So we just gunned straight for the border. Lucky we were so close to it.
Wait, let me just
Sorry,
let me hold you.
back up
So-
a bit.
we get off the call with Daryl, and we have a talk between us, and then Marshall goes, number one priority here is you guys recording the record. He's like, fuck this tour.
Yeah.
In less words.
In not a mean way, but
it's just like, it's like the main thing is like West Coast, like at this point, West Coast had been cancelled.
Yeah.
And technically the next show had been cancelled on the mayor's word. And and there's probably they probably could have got away with the next show after that. But
it was Indiana, right? It was Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. And then, so technically there was only like maybe 5 shows after that. And Marshall's like, there's no point in us waiting 3-4 days, 5 days to drive south to Denver to go and do like the rest of the shows or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
and
I'm
lucky we were so close to the border at this time as well,
Yeah.
because we could have been in such a worse spot.
Yeah, we could have been in Denver. We could have been in Arizona. We could have been anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
So Marshall being our TM, he just goes, I'm in charge of you guys at this second. He's like, nice. He's like,
I'm just working on this.
I'm making the call. You guys aren't going to play the rest of these shows. We need to get you guys over the border, because if they close the border, first of all, you can't record the album. Second of all,
don't want to be stuck in Ohio.
You're going to be stuck here, and you're going to have to rebook flights and everything. And it's going to cost you so much money. He's like, I'm calling it. We had booked
the flights out of Toronto.
Yeah, he's like, I'm calling it. We drive for the border tonight. We get over. We just make sure we're over the border. Worst case scenario, you don't even do the album, but you can fly home.
Yeah,
you can fly home.
What happened was like we were all like on a group call with Daryl as well, because like that was Marshall's plan, and this is the like where Marshall kicked into gear, because he was like sorting out the merch and stuff for the whole tour or whatever, and like, you know, doing bits and pieces.
Yeah, like
but,
being
this
a
is when it's
TM
like, oh my god,
for
this
like
is like crisis mode. I'm switching on right now.
Yeah, being in a TM of a 2 or 4 band is like, he's like had the easiest job. He's like, I just have to follow merch, get their payment.
Yeah,
I got a chill job. And now he's like, I need to make sure they can fucking fly back to Australia.
Yeah. So which was really good that he made the decision too, because then it's like,
yeah, we don't.
It's not us fighting with each other.
Exactly. Like that's what the TM's there for. Like, and he did a killer job. He's fucking legend.
Yeah, no, he did great. Love Marshall. Shout out Marshall, by the way.
Yeah.
Fucking love you, buddy.
Look at Bennett.Ferguson on Instagram or Marshall Street Studios. Follow that shit. Here's the boss.
Boy.
Here's the boss.
Also, third member of DMF.
DMT.
I mean, DMT. Wow.
DMT on the next episode, on the next Patreon episode. Red wine, good time.
We did DMT
in the DMT, good time.
Oh my god! So we need to do some of that music too when quarantine's off. We need to
make some beats.
Release a rap track.
Yeah, we will.
That's what DMF is, by the way, guys. We posted photos together of me, Bassy, and Marshall.
Yeah, we started this
posing. We're like DMF.
We started this rap group called DMF. Naming rights go to Jamie Bauman and me. We were in the van before we got the RV in Canada, and the name just came to us. Like this flash of light off a sign.
You want to say how it just came to you all of a sudden?
Yeah, we were just driving down the freeway and we saw this sign, and the rest is history. We'll tell you. We'll tell you off the record.
Okay. Well, we're not saying it.
Are we? I don't know. Oh, that's a good one.
Dude, speak that far. I can't believe we both shissed.
Bro, diarrhea is a symptom of...
Not a symptom.
It's a symptom of COVID.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I was freaking out. But like I always get sick after tours, so I didn't know whether it was just like my body being run down, and like
I think.
But I'm good now. I'm back. I'm back on solids. Back on solid logs.
No, good. I'm glad. Because you and me, like when we're on tour, we both go hard. Like not so much me this tour, but like we both go hard. And so every night, so like when our bodies only just register what's happening when we get back and we stop drinking, then it's like, whoa, I'm fucked.
Your body's just like, oh, you had a whole night's sleep. All right, I guess we're resting now. Like you slept in a comfortable bed. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the only time the body really gets to recognize what's going on. But most of the time, we just drink through it. Mm-hmm. Because like there's nothing worse than being sick on tour. Because like Jamie gets sick every tour. I think Chris does as well. Like,
could you imagine what our bodies would have been like after 2 months of being away from home? Like if we because we would technically still be in the studio for another month at the moment. Like we literally from today, what's today? Like the 4th of April, 3rd of April, 2nd. I don't know. But we wouldn't leave Toronto we wouldn't get to Melbourne for another month exactly today.
Yeah, we would have landed in May.
Yeah, which is wild.
So we'll backtrack a little bit.
So we still haven't left Ohio yet.
Sorry, we're talking about solids. I was going to talk about something like that shit.
All right, you go.
So,
yeah. Tell me about your shit. Because we're doing stories like this. Like we're doing like past and now
foreshadowing coming back.
Past and present. It's like a movie, bro.
You made a tweet the other day, and you're like, "I just shissed." I'm like, "What's a schist?" Like, and then you explain like what it is. It's like a
It's a fart.
when you
It's like a shit. So like it's excretion from your rectum. So where you normally poo from, your ass. But it's all liquid.
that's where I normally go from anyway.
So this is
liquid.
the
So
sound
Okay.
that when I posted that tweet, right? This is the sound that happened in the toilet. Let me show you. Right, I'm gonna put my microphone down here. Next to my
Go for it.
It's next to my wine glass. This is the sound that hit the bowl. Out of.
I mean, I can't.
You didn't hear that?
I can't. But I'm assuming it sounds the same as the intro music that we have.
I'm gonna do another one.
Okay, you're gonna need 3 hands.
Did you hear that?
Okay, right. Yeah,
Okay.
it sounds like a Prima getting squeezed into a toilet.
That's exactly. I just like sat down on the toilet and I looked at Kate and I'm like, "You are not going to believe this." And she goes, "What?" And I just, oh no,
Come look.
I've lost my video. Hold on,
Bassy's lost the video.
I'm back. I think I've run it.
All right.
I think
he's back.
All right, it's recording. I think
Okay.
I think I ran out of juice, but
Cool.
we'll see what happens.
So did you
literally,
think
like-
that you were
like
farting when it was happening?
Yeah, so like the first time it happened, I'm like, I'm gonna fart here. I went to fart,
Yeah.
and then, like I felt a little bit of something, like something that's not a fart, past
Yeah.
the rim of my ass, and I'm like, oh no, and I just shoved my hand down my pants, over my asshole. Right?
No.
I had to because
Oh,
and then I got up and I'm like, oh no, okay, and I got up and there was just like a wet brown patch on the bed,
oof.
and I'm like,
You
oh.
should be able to feel the warmth of not a fart.
But do you know what I mean? Like you don't know until it's passed.
Yeah. No.
I was
true.
like, and it was
Yeah,
it was literally like the tiniest squirt came out of my ass, and I'm like, oh no,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Dude, it's like sounds exactly the same as what happened to me. Was it I think it was yesterday. Like hang on. Starting to sick.
What do you got?
I think. So I like signed up for Centrelink to like
Oh yeah.
get unemployment.
Oh, did you press the
'cause I
button?
can't work.
Did you press the button?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, to
Claim?
get back paid from that day.
Oh,
I only just got a text.
because I got one last
So it
night
says I'll get back
to
paid
start.
from the 27th of whatever.
Wait, so have you already filled out your claim?
No.
Okay, so yeah, we probably have the same text.
So
So we're gonna be
but
rich.
I know, right? So I went to fart, and like I didn't need to poo like at all. I'm like, it was whatever. And so I farted. I'm like, this isn't like a fart at all. And like then something happened. I'm like, that didn't feel right. So I tried to fart again, and then more came out. I'm like,
That didn't feel right. I'm gonna try it again.
I would try to get maybe I was just like standing kind of wrong, and like there wasn't enough like or whatever like, and so like I put my pants down, and then I text Leah. I'm like, I shit my pants. Luckily there wasn't much, but I'm like, then I tried to actually shit, and I'm like, there's nothing. I've got nothing in the tank.
Dude,
So I
it was
don't
the
know
weirdest.
why.
It was the weirdest feeling. That's the only time I've ever had it that bad. Like I've
Yeah.
like farted and like a tiny bit of shit comes out.
Yeah.
Like so many times in my life. Like if you drink,
it's so
like you know
rare
when
that
you
you
drink
would
too
even
much
get a
red
solid.
wine and you take a shit the next day and you haven't eaten and it's just like really wet shit.
Yeah, just bit of spray. Sorry guys. For the poopy.
This is
talk,
the part that the people wanted from the last episode. You know what I mean? Anyway,
100%.
so we both started shooting our pants, but just going back,
So where were we at
So
this point?
we-
So we haven't
we-
left yet from
we
Ohio.
haven't left yet. We decided. So then Marshall made the call, called Mike, and he's like, "Between you and me, aren't doing any more shows." It seemed that Ohio guys cancelled tomorrow's show. Like Marshall's like, tomorrow's show's not happening. Like no matter what you believe, no matter what the promoter's saying,
Yeah.
tomorrow's show's not happening.
And we like regardless if the show like had gone on illegally, we didn't want to be a part of.
We didn't
Like we didn't.
Yeah,
Want
we
any
didn't want to be a part of that,
ramifications
and we didn't want to get stuck over, on the American side and have to rebook all our flights and all that shit.
Yeah.
So then we beelined for the border. So we left at like 6 o'clock, and it was
By that time, like word had got out that we like obviously Mike knew that we didn't do the tour. I feel like we were the ones.
I think
that
we were
undid
just
the
like,
tour.
Mike, I don't think we're gonna play any more shows. Like, and then Bearings called us and like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we're probably not gonna play any more shows. We're beelining for the border tonight. even like we haven't made a call, but we feel like tomorrow's show is going to get cancelled. Indianapolis is going to get cancelled, so we're just going to go for the border, and then whatever happens. If we have to cancel, we're going to cancel. But at this time, we just want to get over the border.
Too. They're like safety, like they'd rather be home. I mean, obviously they'd probably still be allowed home, but like say shit went worse than it did, and for some reason no one was allowed to cross anywhere, like then
100%.
Yeah, like fuck, we want to avoid that.
Which is great. So then we beeline for the border. You drove the whole way. I was delusional as fuck in the back of the RV, and I think I just did another edible just to go to sleep.
You had 2 edibles and you had 2 joints.
So like, do you remember? So wait, no sleep for over 24 hours.
Yeah, you probably like had a half-hour nap.
2 edibles and 2 joints. Yeah, I was pretty.
So
I was pretty
this
loose.
was the night where I was like, okay, I wanted you to co-pilot, and you didn't, and you were like an absolute just fucking vegetable in the back. Like
it was so
every truck stop, like because we had to get rid of all the weed that we had to cross the border.
True, I had to smoke. That's right, because I tweeted, I'm like, I have to smoke like a Q today.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know what I'm more.
I'm more scared of like crossing like COVID, or I'm more scared of how fucked up I'm going to get from smoking all this weed.
Yeah.
You know who messaged me that day? Sam from Belmont goes, "Hey man," and I'm just like, right after I posted that tweet, and I'm like, he's like, "Are you guys good?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, I guess got to smoke all this weed, and then we need to get to Canada to record our album." So
yeah.
And like he just said, "Hey man,"
I thought he was going to message you say, "Yeah, if you need to offload it." Like,
yeah, I think he was. I think he was.
Oh, shit.
So good. So we beeline for the border.
Yeah.
You're driving.
So I was driving. Every time, so the 2 times I drove were at night was when. Oh, sorry, bit of phlegm.
To be honest, I swear we drove for like 10 hours that day.
Yeah, so that was weird because I was speeding the whole time by like a good 15 miles. I reckon.
Shit, man.
No, yeah, but we had so much road work. So we had 6 miles of 40
miles.
40 or like 6 miles of like going really slow.
Yeah.
And it was when we had the
pilot. Oh, that's when I was sitting next to you, and you're just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
This is the other night. So I'll get to that.
Oh, that was the other night.
Yeah. So we had like the cement dividers in the middle of the road.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also had cones on this side, but there was also a drop that went off to where all the deers were fucking hanging out. There was so many of them.
Oh, fuck.
So
I missed all this shit. Damn it. I shouldn't have gone so high. We had about 10
centimeters each side, maybe like 15 centimeters each side of the RV.
Oh, wait. We forgot about dropping Nate off. And then that's when I smoked that. Oh, that's when we smoked that huge medicinal joint.
All right.
Holy shit.
We'll go back
There is so much that happened that day.
So I was like sitting here like, oh my God, it was so scary because I'm like, this is fucking, I had to go so slow because I was like, I don't want to fuck the RV and get like, because your money wouldn't have been given back because you put down the deposit. Like if I scratch that side,
it doesn't matter. We could have washed it off, whatever.
If I got that side, they're gonna pick on me again for hitting cones. Like, I have to just
you just got like all this pressure on you.
I know, and it was just me and Jamie awake. I'm like, all right, Jim, tell me how much room I have on the right side. He's like, yeah, you're good. I'm like, I'm gonna need a bit more than that. How much?
It's like a centimeter.
Yeah. And so I was shitting my pants, and like there was just roadworks the whole time. So like when I got the straights, like when I didn't have roadworks, I was going so fast because there was no one on the road,
just catching up.
And then one of yous woke up and was like, "We've been fucking driving forever. Like, are we there
It's
yet?"
probably
like,
me.
I was like, "Fucking cunt! I've been trying." And I'm like, "Oh, I've been speeding."
This road is literally a treadmill, and I don't know where we're going.
It was whack. So prior to getting to the border, we'll go back.
I think you smoked a joint like 40 minutes before the border.
Yeah, everyone. Not me though, because I was driving.
Yeah, I mean just me and Marshall.
Yeah. So when we dropped Nate off in Ohio first at his house, lucky he lives there. Lucky he doesn't live in fucking wherever.
We would have had to pay for like a Greyhound, but we went straight to his house.
Yeah. So we went there, and you had that medicinal joint.
Some guy gave us one in Brooklyn, and I didn't know when to smoke it. And it was like, he's like, "This is the most insane weed you will smoke." And I'm like, "Hey," and I'm like, "That's what everyone says." But
yeah.
It was fucking. It was cute. It was like this big, and it ended up being like me with this much of the joint left.
Yeah, because Nate had like 3 hits or something. And he's like, dude, I'm good, and it was just you. And so, and because we didn't have like the end of tour kind of celebration, so we chose to give out the end of tour awards right then. And we're
Oh
like,
man,
Bassy, give out the end of tour awards.
I made up
And
some
so
stupid shit on that.
I remember a couple of them were like, something about smelly feet. You're like, I can't remember. It was about Chris.
Yeah,
I think that was actually you. It was really brutal with that one, but I can't remember what you said.
I remember just looking into. I can't remember what I said, but I just remember Chris's face just going, "Fuck, this guy hates me." And I'm just like, I don't hate you. I just don't know what to say. I'm just thinking about what's. I'm like, I haven't slept in 24 hours, and I'm so high.
We're all looking at you two. We're all looking at you, going like, okay, what's he gonna say? You go, Jake, the laziest cunt ever, not going to merch the last 5 nights. I'm like, I got off pretty easy. I've done way worse stuff. I can't remember what else you gave.
I can't
really,
remember. It's on video for sure. It's gonna come out at some day, and I hope. I mean, everyone's cancelled at the moment, so it doesn't really matter what I say anymore. Like all bands are cancelled, so I mean,
everyone's cancelled because no one's touring.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So fuck
So
everyone.
We did after the awards. So we're back at the border.
Mm-hmm.
We went in and went like, "Fuck, this is gonna." I was like, "Okay, I'm so shit with words. I'll give it to Gibbo." Gibbo drove the last half an hour to the border.
Yeah.
And like, and then so because I'm like, this guy's gonna be asking so many questions because all this news has just happened about COVID, whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
gonna interrogate the fuck out of us. So Gibbo goes to the guy. The guy's like, "How many of you guys are here?" We're like,
So
"6."
I remember him giving him 6. He's like, yeah, how many? No, we stopped. You changed drivers. Did you say this already?
Yeah.
Yeah. You and then Gibbo gives him all the passports. He's like, how many people? We're like 6. He's like, all right. He doesn't say anything else. Comes in. He's like, what are you guys doing? And Gibbo's like, oh, we're going to Canada to record an album. We're a band, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. Goes into his office, comes it back out, hands over the passports, and then normally they're like, all right, what gear do you have? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, every other time it's been so much more intense.
Yeah, and then he's just like, all right.
Sorry. On the way from Canada, because we landed in Canada for the tour, on the way to the first show,
Yeah.
we had to wait
Yeah.
in the border for like maybe 45 minutes or something crazy like that.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
remember
coming
that.
back in, we're like, surely because of this COVID nonsense, like, we're going to be whatever. And like, he was just like, yep, go ahead. And so like, that was way too easy.
Yeah, I know. Cause he like, especially with everything we knew at that time, like we're like, fuck, like Ohio just closed like a locking down shit like right now.
Because we were ahead of I guess we were ahead of the curve really, because we were looking into it, because it ultimately affected us like directly.
Yeah.
But like, we need to know the ins and outs. So we knew more than I feel like the border control knew.
Yeah, well, they
like,
definitely
obviously no
would have
information had been relayed to them, unless
Well,
the guy was
they
at the end
would
of his shift and he's
well,
like,
maybe
"Fuck
not
yeah,
the guy
see ya."
working there, but like Canadian Border Control would have been like on notice from like the fucking government, right? But like we got there and it was so strange for us because we're like, fuck, we're Australian. None of us are Canadian. Like, are we even going to get over? Like, they could just be like, nah, sorry. Yeah. Oh, just go into this room. We're going to make you wait for a little bit. But literally the guy just goes, yep, go on. Have a good time. We're just like, what
coming up to the
fuck?
gate too, because we're like, we haven't gone this way before. And it was dead.
Yeah.
No one, not a single car there. And we're like, are we in the right spot?
Yeah.
And this guy must have just been, I don't know, like, he just didn't give a fuck. I was like, yeah, go through. So Gibbo drove another hour.
Which we were
stopped at,
grateful
like, an
for.
Anytime
Like,
Fitness.
fucking
Yeah.
so grateful for.
We stopped at an Anytime.
And then you guys got out and had showers, and I was like finally asleep at this point.
Yeah. No, I might have gone up in the morning. No.
Oh, no, you did. You did
I
get
went
up.
at night. Did I?
I got up in the morning with Jamie. Me and Jamie did a gym session with Marshall, but I think a bunch of people went in with our gym passes that night.
Yeah. So I went in at night, I think.
And normally, what happens when we stop is, we're gone by like 7, 8 in the morning. But because we had nowhere to be, and we're trying to figure out accommodation or whatever, like,
happening?
What the fuck's happening for the next? Because we still had 2 weeks of tour left, like technically. So, what the fuck's happening? So, we're in this car park, and pretty much the rest, the next few, like, tour hadn't been cancelled yet. Nothing had been announced. No one, because technically that morning would have been the day of the show in
Columbus show.
Columbus, yeah. So that morning, Marshall's talking with Mike at the main TM. We're talking with Bearings. Bearings have beeline for the border as well. So at this point, the tour had been cancelled, but no one had. I mean, the rest of the shows had been cancelled except the Chicago 2 sold out Chicago shows, and we were like, "There's no point in us risking going over the border for the Chicago shows, so we're not playing the Chicago shows at this point." Anyway, so we're in this car park. Everyone's had showers at this Anytime Fitness, like we mentioned in the last podcast, where we always risk it. With Anytime Fitness or any gym, it's always one pass, one person.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that this has ever happened to us.
And this is 3 US tours in, and we've done it like every night or every
The first tour
night.
we did it with one pass.
Yeah.
So me and Jamie walk in, and they're our passes, and then Bennett walks in with me. Marshall walks in with me, and then the lady's like, "Do you guys have passes?" And we're like, "Yeah." And Marshall's like, "Nah."
Fuck yeah.
And she's like, "I've looked at the cameras. You guys, so many people came in with your passes last night. I should call your club and fine you." And we're like, "Okay."
Which is weird because it's like, so I don't know who told me, it was one of you guys. They get a notification when more than one person walks in.
So what happens? So in Australia, it doesn't happen in America, but in Australia, when you scan the RF thing on the door, and you open the door, it should count one person coming in.
Yeah.
But in Australia, if 2 people walk in, it beeps. Like it's like it registers 2 people. But in America, that doesn't happen. Like there's no beep. So like we're just like, oh, they mustn't really check for this shit.
Yeah.
But obviously, it just registers on their system. It doesn't let you know that you've fucked up the system or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the lady's like, "I could fine you $400 each," and we're just like, "Oh, fuck!" And
Please don't. She's just like, a shower.
And she's just like, "Don't do it again because you're like, especially now, you're fucking it up for everyone." And
I promise I will not do it again at this location.
Exactly. Whereas like, I am so sorry. Like these are our passes. Like, I'm sorry if the other guys.
Yeah, I don't even know that guy that was with me.
Yeah. And then Bennett goes, "Oh, but can I use the bathroom?" And she's just like, "This one time, but you have to leave straight after." And he's just like, "Okay." And then he just had a shower and left. So good.
Unreal.
Yeah, so we were in this car park with the Tim Hortons all day.
Yeah, so Chris woke up first and he went to the Tim Hortons because everyone was looking for coffee. I'm like, where the fuck? There's got to be something around.
Yeah.
And where we were parked, we couldn't see the Tim Hortons because it was just this brick square, like with no
the signage was on the opposite side,
Yeah.
right? There was no massive
Chris had obviously
sign.
gone for a walk and he found it eventually. Then I got up second. I went for a walk, brushed my teeth, tried to find it.
Yeah.
And eventually found it. And then everyone had a laptop set up in there, and you're like, "Where the fuck are you guys?" I'm like, "Hortons behind the RV." And then everyone, like all 5 of us or 6 of us, were in there, all with our laptops
all day.
set up. Yeah.
But
it was good because we're like, okay, this is cool. We have 2 weeks now before the record to properly write.
We knew
demo.
we had that time, but like at this point, we didn't know.
I only just registered to be like, okay, fantastic. Like now it's really setting in. It's like this is actually good.
It down. Even if it's in the RV for the next 2 weeks, we can really just like go to these locations like Tim Hortons or wherever, get a practice studio, blah blah, work on the record. And at this point, we had been like, tour's cancelled in our mind, whatever, fuck it. We've got to put out this second record. We got to fucking kill it. All this shit.
Yeah.
So we were just focusing on the record at this point. We were like, tour's done. Tour's fully over for us.
Because we got no. We're like, okay, we're committing to not going over.
Yeah.
We're like, not going back.
So like that day we were like, do we just fork out a little bit of money, get a hotel, blah blah blah, which is what we did. Well, Bennett ended up being a legend and like buying.
Sorry, one sec. Can you keep talking to these people? I need a piss real quick.
Yeah. So anyway,
keep going.
Bennett, our TM Marshall. Sorry, keep changing back and forth between his names. He just goes, "Yo, don't worry about it. Let's get a hotel tonight. Let's just chill, and we will regroup in the morning and figure everything out and work it out from there." So Bennett ends up getting this hotel, this hotel for us right near the CN Tower in Toronto, which is awesome. But we have an RV, and it's the middle of Toronto. So we need to find somewhere to park our RV in the middle of Toronto, which is not an easy feat. So it's like 45 minutes from wherever we are. We like ended up packing up about 6 o'clock from this place. We find this, I'm just saying.
No time to wash my hands, COVID 2020.
It's all good. It's all good. You're in quarantine. I'm just saying we just left the parking lot to go to this hotel. But on the way to the hotel, me and Bennett and you were just like, well, if we're going to this hotel, we're going to get high tonight. Because Toronto has...
So which... the hotel.
Yeah,
that was so
we're like,
good.
we're going to get high. We have to get delivery weed. We need to pick up before we get there. So we waste like half an hour trying to find... I'm like, fuck it. We're going to the middle of Toronto. We can literally walk...
Something.
We can literally walk 10 minutes and find something. So we go to this place. We go to the middle of Toronto, where the CN Tower is, in a fucking RV. And I'm like... Where the fuck are we gonna park this fucking thing?
Oh my god!
This
that's
boat,
right. What a fucking
this boat of a
debacle that
car.
was.
So we pull up right. We get lucky. We got so lucky. Right next to the hotel or the Airbnb or whatever we got where we were staying.
The one that we thought we were staying at. Remember we parked at this one.
Oh no!
It wasn't the right
pulled,
one.
I pulled into this thing and there was like no parking. I was like, holy shit! I'm gonna have to drive like 20 minutes just to find a park.
So the first hotel we went to, we thought it was our hotel. It wasn't. It was across the road.
It was like around the block.
To the next one.
Yeah.
We were trying to read the sign, like, you know how parking signs are kind of just like fucked up, and you can't really tell what's
it's
happening.
Like one day it's a loading zone, one day it's no parking. You don't even know.
And the way that we all read it, it was technically fine today, but we asked it like a passerby that was walking. We're like, sorry mate, like, what do you think?
Yeah.
And he's like, I've never seen someone park here. Yeah. Like, let alone an RV. So we're like, okay, fine.
Wild.
We tried to go into the parking.
So there was a massive parking lot. Like there was a huge parking lot right next to this hotel. We pull in one. Yeah, a paid like parking lot. We pull into one section, and the guy, we're like, we're leaving tomorrow morning at 11. We can we could literally like park in. There's probably like maybe 20 cars in like an acre of parking lot.
Yeah, there was at least 80 spots free.
At least 80 spots. There was like fucking 400. That place was huge. It was massive, right? And the guy's like 80 Canadian, and we're like, what?
For 12 hours, 80 Canadian.
And he's like, yep.
Huge.
And we're like, all right, we're probably not going to park here.
Because technically we're taking up 2 spaces, I guess.
But
like...
So, just to give the people at home a perspective. So, say there's a square. In the left bottom corner of the square is the hotel. Like, and maybe like... So, say there's a 10 centimeter square. Like 10
I'm going to try and draw it, guys. Keep talking.
10 centimeter squared thing. In the left bottom corner for 1 centimeter is the hotel, and the rest of the square is the parking, right? So we pull in on the bottom of the square where the guy is, and he's like,
"This guy's FYI, that was the hotel."
Yeah.
And that was the parking. There was so much space.
So much space. Right, so we pull in on the left of where that hotel, on the right, where that hotel is. Hold that picture up again.
Yeah.
Hold that picture up.
Okay,
so we pull it up on the right of this of the hotel.
Here?
So on the bottom of the square for the people listening, and then that's where we pull in, and the guy's like $80 to park anywhere in here, and we're like, okay, but there's an entrance on the left side of the square as well, and then I'm like, Jake, go on and ask that. The
entrances are located here, guys, for the people playing at home. The 2 lines on either side.
So on the left side of the square there's an entrance, and on the bottom side of the square there's an entrance, right? So I go, Jake, jump out, go ask that other attendant what he thinks, and then come back and find us. Right? This is about
that guy.
This is about an hour of like just trying to figure out. So like at this point, Gibbo and Marshall had jumped out to go and get the keys for the hotel. Yeah. So we talked to this cunt guy, and he's like $80, and I'm like, fuck this guy. There has to be like literally the other guy is going to give us a cheaper price. So Jake goes out and goes 40. The guy goes $40 straight up, and I'm like, Jake, go and tell him that we're coming right now. Like, fuck this guy. Like half the price. This guy's an idiot. Which I drive in.
The funny thing about the first guy is though that we parked in his spot, and then we pissed in the toilet and then released the
Flushed.
valve
Yeah, because the whole
in
tour,
his side of the car park.
because the whole tour, like the valves were never closed. So every time we pissed, like and flush it, we just like piss and like piss. We piss all over America and Canada, pretty much. Anyway,
Oh, God.
so I pull into the car park via the other entrance on the left-hand side
Yeah.
of that square.
It's technically the same car park.
It
There's
is the
no
same
fence
car
in
park. It
between
was
them both.
100% the same car park. The guy goes, that other guy fucking just tries to make as much money as he can. He's like, I literally have no business tonight. Like $40 is gonna be fine. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you so much. You don't understand how much this means for us. And he's like, you'll be gone by 11, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you'll be
Yeah.
gone by 11 the latest. And he's like, sweet. We ended up leaving at 12, but he was fine. He was just so chill.
Yeah.
Oh, but then that
Because
night,
just like where it was located, like more people came through the other side because it was busier,
yeah.
as opposed to the side that we came through. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, it was just kind of whack. But
So then
so Gibbo had spoken to the guy who had the keys for the apartment.
yeah, I didn't know any about this was happening. I was just waiting in the RV. So you go on.
And there was just like a bunch of like just miscommunication. So Gibbo put in a deposit for the apartment because we
No,
booked
Marshall
it that
did.
day.
Marshall did. But yeah,
Marshall did, sorry.
Yeah.
Gibbo used Marshall's thing. So
Yeah.
Gibbo input the details and put down the deposit. Thanks, Marshall, by the way.
big dog.
And then he had confirmed the booking, and then there was a prompt that came up on the website saying, "Do you want to pay the full amount?" And so Gibbo did it. So we were waiting for someone to drop off a key because like it was owned by someone that didn't live in the building, so they were like somewhere else, like driving down to give us the key. So the guy came an hour and a half later after saying he was 10 minutes away for like an hour and a half. He came and then he tried to charge Gibbo the full amount, and he was like, the guy was arguing with his supervisor on the phone, and the guy's like, "Here is a receipt. I paid the full amount." Anyway, blah blah blah. After all this shit happened, we finally got the room. So we're like, okay, we'll get all the gear from the RV. We'll bring it upstairs.
Yeah.
And the night is young. Even though moods were like
Yeah.
kinda,
So we got.
it was getting low. We're like, let's get high. And
By the time we got
have
in,
fun.
it was like 7:30 at night. Right.
No,
Yeah.
dude, later. It was at least 8.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, it's fucking like, because 8 seems like a number to me where I was like,
You're
that's
winding
over.
down. Like, it's like if you haven't been drinking before 8, like
Yeah.
you're winding down. So
Exactly.
we get in, and then the boys are like, "Let's go out." The twins and Marsh were like, "Let's fucking go out." And we were like, me, you, and Gibbo were like, "Man, let's just get high." Like,
yeah.
we're not single, so it doesn't really matter for us. Like, there's no point in us going out. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need to chase
I don't
anything.
care.
Like,
Yeah.
so then, but like, we were just like, first port of call is we need beers. Like, I will drink at home, but I don't need to go out. We need beers or like White Claw. That's when we thought we were going to get red wine. That was the first night I thought we were going to get red wine. We're going to get there. Jake's laugh. You'll understand why Jake is laughing. We're going to get there. It's fucking, this is like a prime night. Like, we don't need to be anywhere in the next 2 weeks. We're gonna get drunk, and we have one night at this hotel. So whatever. So we end up. I end up finding this dispensary.
Before that though, like the vibe was so good because we got to the hotel and we're like, this is amazing. There's ample amount of sleeping room. Like it's
Everyone
so
has a
bougie.
room. Everyone has a bed. It's all sweet.
Like we got in there, we're like, oh, we'll take a shit. Like, well, freshen up, whatever. Like we felt good.
Everyone felt
then Bassy found a dispensary,
and then I'm like, it's a 10-minute walk. It's cold, but they got good shit there, apparently. So we all start, everyone starts walking there except Chris, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah? So we walk to this dispensary. We walk past like a bottle as well. It's like, we'll go there on the way home, get some beers, chill out, whatever. Get to the dispensary. Everyone gets what they need. We bought so much. We bought so much weed.
The guy, like, so I guess this guy was like a security worker, whatever. He had to like authorize us signing up on the website or whatever. Like, so we're like a member, so we were allowed to shop there. He was really funny. Like, he was a nice guy.
Check our IDs and all that shit.
Yeah. So we made accounts or whatever. We went in there, and there was just like, I had never like been in one and purchased something before because I never had cash or wasn't carrying
ID
my
on you.
passport on me or whatever. So like, this is the first time I went in, and I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, and there was so many options. Like, I don't even know what the fucking what to get.
You're just like, what's vegan?
Yeah.
And yes, what
the
is
vegan,
good?
The vegan gummies, I'll take them. And some sort of pre-roll. I can't even remember what it was
I think
called,
there was
to be
like a
honest.
daily like special pre-roll. So
Yeah.
you got that one. I got like another pre-roll, which was like $10, and then I
Yeah.
also got like a 100 milligram cookie. Marshall got like a cue of weed.
Which was wild, by the way.
Yeah, and then Gibbo got like 150-gram gummies.
That's right. Yeah.
Milligram gummies. Jamie got like a chocolate block, which was like edible chocolate block. We got so much, and then I remember we ended up going back to the hotel, but we smoke a joint on the way to the bottle shop.
Yeah. Oh, we did. Yes,
We smoked
did.
a joint on
So
the way
we had a gummy each on the way.
to the bottle shop.
So you and me and Gibbo
Oh
had
yeah,
one
one of your ones,
on the way to the
strawberry
bottle
ones,
shop.
yeah.
Yep. On my one. So the 100 milligram ones, which is what I had.
Which
And then
like
Gibbo
the
had
whole
the-
packet was 100 milligrams. We didn't each have 100 milligrams, so we had
Yeah.
about 10, 15 milligrams each.
True.
And smoking this massive pre-roll.
Which is what, like, because it was just you, me, and Marshall. So I usually tap out after halfway through. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. But like we
Yeah.
had the walk, so I was kind of like, I may as well.
Yeah, but
And then
I
by
remember-
the time we got to this bottle shop,
I remember
we-
standing.
like, we-
Sorry to cut you off. I remember
yeah,
standing
go.
outside the bottle shop, and there was like maybe like a quarter of this pre-roll to go, and
Yeah.
then I was like, just take another puff, because I just like drinking. I'm the same with being high. I'm like, you just have to have more, have more, have more,
Have
have more,
another.
have more. And then, but do you remember standing outside that LCBO, the bottle
Yeah,
shop?
so we're on the corner and we could see like right down the alley that way. We're right next to a park or something like that.
Yeah, but do you remember the guy right next to us in the bin?
What? No.
There was literally a guy. So just imagine like one of those green wheelie bins that you have at home, but like double the size, double the width or whatever. And he's
The ones
literally
that we took the photos in outside of
no,
Asbury
no,
Park.
no, like your home green wheelie bin,
Right.
right, with the yellow lid or whatever. There's a guy in one of those, but it's double the size,
This guy's in a
and
trash can.
he's just literally just standing there. And I'm pretty sure he's homeless. I'm assuming he's homeless. He's not just doing it for
I feel
fun.
bad for laughing.
He's not doing it for fun. And I'm just like,
I'm just like, how do I not see
I'm just like so high out of my mind, just going, what the hell am I looking at? And then Marshall just turns to me and he just like starts giggling, and I'm like, oh no, I can't fucking stop. I can't stop. We walk into this bottle shop, and me and you are like looking at red wine. I'm like, you want some red wine? You're like, yes, let's get some red
There
wine.
was so many options, like, and so we like.
But
we
wine
were
was so
looking-
expensive there. There's no like cheap bottles. There's no
Yeah,
cheap boxes.
So like, there was no cheap boxes. Like, so we can get a box here for like $11, which is like
This
fucking
bad boy,
$7,
$11
$8. $8 US. Whatever.
20
We
standards.
couldn't find a single box that was less than 18 US, and we're like, this is
Canadian,
This
yeah.
is kind of Canadian. We're like, this is kind of whack. Like, so there was so much though, because there was a huge store. We just kept looking.
I don't even think
And
we
then-
ended up buying anything.
No, we didn't. So we had so much time, and the night was like
It
kinda
wasn't-
young. So
it
You
wasn't-
were like you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
yeah.
no, I'm like, we didn't actually spend that much time in the bottle shop. It was probably about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that, like, I was in there like a couple minutes before you guys had finished the joint, because I went up prior. So that's probably why I didn't see the homeless guy in the bin.
Yeah.
But like, I went up there, I was looking, I'm like, can't find anything. I'll wait for you guys to get up. And like at this point, it's already started to like hit me, and I'm like, all right, I don't know how to get back down. I'm just gonna wait for these guys to get back.
I just
up.
remember walking up like 2 minutes after you, and then just walking in and you're like, choose something. I need to go.
So we were
I need
looking,
to
we're like,
go.
we can get this, we can get that, and then like you were prepared to be there for another 10 more minutes looking, and I'm like, it just hit me. I'm like,
You just go, this
You
is
need to- you need
actually
to-
you. This is what you're doing. Just imagine, I'm not going to be standing up. I'll be on my knees. This is Jake. For the people listening, just imagine like a tree lopper. Some guys just cut through a tree, and it just slowly starts to fall over. This is
crack.
Jake. This is Jake next to me, just like looking at me, just going, man, I need to go. We need to go. We need to go.
my
And he
words
just-
were,
and he
I
literally
looked at Bassy, I'm like,
he literally just like looks at me and just like falls on me. He's like,
we need to go. We need to go.
No, he's just like, we need to go. We need to go.
I'm like, pick something, let's get the fuck out of here. And then, so I went to go find Jamie and
No.
Marshall
I think
and
I'm
Gibbo.
like they got to be right here. So like I think I just like kind of guided you. I had my arm like on your back, just
Yeah.
like make sure that you don't fall over.
to the rest of the boys in the shop. And
Yeah.
then there was a good 10 seconds, this has never happened to me before, where my vision was gone.
Yeah.
completely gone. And I was just like balancing, like, where, like, how do I balance? And then I was about to lean over, like, the lopper,
Yeah.
the tree falling over.
Because
And then
you
he had to
you
grab
just
me.
leant on me. I'm like, fuck, we need to get out of here. And then
Yeah.
everyone just looks at us, and I'm like, just go. Just like, let's walk
Yeah.
outside. And I literally just beeline straight for the hotel. I'm like, we need to go back.
You said to me, like, do you need a hand, like, getting back? I'm like, please. And you had to literally, like, have your hand around me the whole time to get me back to the house. But by the time we got back to the house, like, I was good.
You're just like, hey, are you gonna smoke another joint or what? What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Oh my god, it was wild. So, then we like, I can't remember what we did when we got back. We completely forgot that Chris was still there waiting.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so two things happened. So everyone ends up getting back to the hotel. Gibbo bought like some beers or something. I think we had a beer each.
Yeah.
Chris and Jamie get an Uber to Sneaky D's.
Yeah.
Right? So we're all chilling. Chris and Jamie go to Sneaky D's. And then Marshall's going to go meet them after.
Yeah. Marshall still had to have a shower.
In my mind, I was watching.
Get out and just check it out.
I was watching Marshall. I'm like, there is 100% chance he's not going out tonight. Like once he goes, oh, I'll meet you boys out. I knew at that point. That's Marshall's like, you guys go out, and I'll not come out after.
He's like, I feel like because when you got back home, it's like I'm here.
But at that point, we hadn't really realized, Cleveland had like the shows got cancelled, but at that point we hadn't realized that no one's going out. Everyone's like freaking out at this point, especially in Canada. Like they've had some cases, and I think they were getting ready to shut their borders. I'm pretty sure it was like the next day or the day after, the Canadian borders got shut for only Canadian citizens and US citizens.
Yeah,
like
literally.
no internationals, and we're like, lucky we fucking came out. Like, lucky we made it.
That happened to us twice on this trip, but we'll explain that later.
Yeah.
So this is already like an hour. We still got so much.
Has it been an hour?
Maybe this one will just be longer.
Yeah, maybe this one.
It's 57 minutes.
We'll keep going.
We'll keep going.
Okay.
So we were at this hotel, and then so Jamie and Chris went out to Sneaky D's because I don't think Jamie went out the first time. We went there when the first US tour we did.
He did go out,
Rome,
but
like Pacific.
He went home early.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
He went home way earlier than us.
So he hadn't really seen Sneaky, so like he wanted to go.
He's like, because it's generally a wild time. Like it's generally a good time.
Because when we went there, it was the end of tour. It was the last day of tour. Jordan from like Pacific was DJing, and it was like it was known by everybody at the show that we were going to be there. So like everybody came. I had been to Sneaky D's with Doug and his friend Doug and Leah when we went on holiday, and it was dead. Forgot about this though.
Yeah.
So then Chris and Jamie went, and they got there. They're like, dude, it is fucking dead.
He reckons there was like 5 people there, like including the bartenders.
It's wild. So we were already back at the house, and Marshall was like kind of high as well. So he's like,
kind of high. Marshall was fucking so high. Marshall was high as all of us.
He didn't want to like leave at that point either.
Yeah.
So we wanted to watch something on TV, and Gibbo put on, was it Narcos?
Yeah, Narcos, like Mexico or some shit.
And we didn't understand what the fuck was going on. Like I
just couldn't keep track of the story. I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah. I hated it. I didn't want to be rude and say like, fucking, what is this? Turn it over. At one point though, after an hour, I'm like, does anyone know what's going on? Gibbo's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, why are we watching it?
No, everyone was too scared to say anything because we were so high. I was like, anyone know what's happening anymore?
That like completely killed the fucking.
But like at that point, we had like me and you shared like another 50 milligrams of the cookie. We had the whole cookie, remember?
Yeah. So we're like, let's like watch Pineapple Express or something funny, and then we watched Narcos. I'm like,
I just remember falling asleep after that day, and then we still didn't know what was happening. So like, go to sleep that night, check out of the hotel, and we were like, what are we doing today? Talking to Daryl. Yeah. Daryl's like, hopeless to get a new hotel. Well, Sam's getting it.
Can you hear those noises, by the way? Sorry.
That's fine. Whatever.
Okay, I'll turn it down a bit more.
No, that's fine.
I'm here.
So anyway, Hopeless ended up getting us, or like Hopeless and Sam, our producer, Guyana, from Toronto, ended up getting us Airbnb in like East Chinatown. So we were like, sweet, we'll head there. We'll chill there for like
753 Gerard East.
Gerard Street East. Yeah, that was a time. We wrote a couple demos in that place. Hopefully they make
Yeah,
a record.
I got to sing to them tomorrow.
Whatever. That was some bangers. Hopefully you'll hear the stories that we're telling right now. Anyway, so the next 2 weeks in our minds we're spending in this Airbnb, and
it was pretty small, by the way. Like Sam got it because it was 200 meters from the studio.
Yeah,
and we had 2 weeks. Like obviously,
a few things happened.
Like not and just like tour.
Much.
Sorry.
No, you go. Sorry, yeah. So it was easy access to the studio. We might be able to we might be able to prolong the stay once we're in the studio. It was all good things. So we just get there, chill, set up our lives for the next. We had nearly 10 weeks to go of our trip.
Yeah,
in our mind,
a long time.
In our mind, we're doing the record in Toronto. We got time. Let's write some more demos. Let's hone in on the tracks. And let's get this shit done.
There was also this weird stage as well. Like, we wanted to be productive, but also it was like, it was kind of weird because shit was kind of up in the air. Where like, we don't really actually know what's happening at all, but we'll just kind of continue on as usual. Yeah. So we'll just assume that we're riding for 2 weeks.
Exactly. Our daily routine became wake up at 10, 9:30, 10, 11 o'clock. Yeah. Walk to Starbucks. Get a coffee because everything was closed and you can only do takeaway. Get our latte. Go to the dog park for about 25 minutes, half an hour.
It was good. We saw
stay away from all the dogs, but like watch all the dogs running around, just chill in the morning. Yeah. Go back to the Airbnb. Work on whatever idea we had for the day until about 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Yeah. And then order some edibles and get fucked up.
So like the first day we got there, we got into the Airbnb. We're like, man, this shit is small. Because it was like
it was like the RV times 3. It wasn't like that big.
So there's a bedroom, which me, James, and Jai were in. Jai had the couch. Me and James shared a double bed, and then it was next to that bedroom. Okay, I'll draw it for you guys.
Another bedroom. There was another bedroom. So it's like 3. Yeah. 3 squares and a half and a rectangle. A small half square rectangle. It was 2
bedrooms, like, joined together. And then there was also this kitchen, which was also just essentially a square. And then, okay, so here we go, guys. Here's
on the video, this is what you see.
Boys and girls. There's one room, which is a square, which is 1 bedroom. The second one is another just same size square bedroom. Nothing fancy at all. The third square, visually, is the kitchen.
Same size.
The fourth, same size. 4th square is like a little hallway where there was some construction workers working outside building the fucking house.
And by construction workers, we mean the father of the person who was running the Airbnb.
Yeah. And then a little toilet. Yeah.
So and a shower. There was a shower in there.
There's the graphic design portion of the podcast. But it was pretty small. Like at first we were like, how are we gonna make this work? Like this is so not a vibe to write songs.
There was zero vibe, 0 room, and
I miss it though. Honestly, dude, I miss it because like,
dude, I wish
looking back there was vibe.
Technically, in my mind, like we've been home for 2 weeks and we could have done this. Like everyone was telling us the borders are closing, but we literally could have flown in this week.
I know.
We could have. I mean, like, it would have been bad. We would have had to stay at Crown Towers. Oh, what a bad time.
Would we have had to have stayed there?
Dude, people are getting quarantined like by the government in like hotels and shit right now. Anyway, I'm glad we're home. But like, we'll back to so our 2 weeks after the hotel. Was it even 2 weeks? Like a week and a bit.
No, it was. No, I don't even know if it was.
I think it was a week, maybe a whole week.
Yeah.
So our routine was like get edibles every night, get fucked up, wake up in the morning, get a coffee, have breakfast, do the same shit again.
And it was as like unmotivated as I was some days, like looking back, man, it was cool. It's probably like that was a really fun time to look back on, to be honest.
We lived in Toronto for like a week. It was wild.
It was really cool. Like me and James went for a walk one day before shit got like completely serious.
Yeah, the first day we got to the Airbnb.
Yeah. to go get like some ramen from like one of my favorite like vegan ramen chains, which was cool. Which took us like 40 minutes, but we had all the time in the world to walk there. So we walked back, whatever. Kind of wrote a song. James had this idea that he wanted to work on, and then which we're still working on, obviously. And we like kind of built off that, which was really cool. It was like cool to see that evolve while we're in there, like in demo mode, I guess. And then Gibbo had an idea as well, which ended up turning out really cool.
Yeah. Chris had one as well, that electro song that he was working on. It's fucking
Chris had
sick.
one as well. But Chris, Jamie, and Marshall left.
So yeah, at this time, you haven't said this yet. At this time, we were like ready to record the record. We were like, let's just work on this for 2 weeks. We were talking to Sam, our producer. Let's do this shit. Let's get our songs together. Let's do everything. Blah blah blah.
Also, kind of in denial as well, because I wanted to stay. I think you wanted to stay as well.
I think the three of us, me, you, and Gibbo, wanted to stay. The boys wanted to stay as well, but they didn't want to get stuck there for the next foreseeable future. We didn't want, technically, none of us wanted the borders to close and we couldn't go home. Yeah. And that was the reason why we left. Yeah. And so we're talking with our manager, and our manager's like, all right, it looks like the borders are going to close to Australia for indefinitely. So I'm calling it. You guys are going home. We're going to figure out flights home. Yep. Call and see if you can get your flights moved. If you can't, let's work it out.
Luckily enough, flight-wise, we didn't have to pay any extra because it was like because of the whole COVID, whatever. Like things like reschedulements were being honoured with no extra charge.
Yeah, the airlines knew that people needed to get home. People had already paid for the flight, so like whatever. Like they weren't really losing money, but that they didn't have whatever. So so we called it. So we had stayed in this house for maybe 4 or 5 days, right? And then we had a chat with our manager, and he was like, "It looks like shit's hitting the fan. We got to get."
UK had just gone into lockdown. That Daryl's from the UK, our manager. So it's like shit's gone into lockdown here. I know you guys are going to end up going in lockdown as well. Yeah. So
you're pretty much the UK on a smaller scale. Let's just figure it out, and then like he's like, "I'm calling it. You guys are going home." He's like, "Don't." Yeah. He's like, "I'm making the call. So like, whatever happens, and then." You can figure it out. Like we'll figure out the rollout once everything is settled and everything. And which is fine.
That was good for him to make the call, so we weren't like because it was kind of a split decision between the band. Yeah. Because I would have stayed regardless of circumstance. Because I
remember us talking.
I don't really think.
Yeah, once the twins got their flights, once like it happened, and Daryl was like, "We're not doing the record. I'm getting in touch with everybody. Getting in touch with Hopeless. We'll figure it out. We can do it when you get home." We can do whatever. And once the boys booked their flights, rescheduled their flights and flew out, me and you and Gibbo were like, fuck, we're actually not recording this record.
Yeah, we're actually not recording. And we're like as soon as Chris and Jamie and Bennett left, we're like, wow, like then there were 3. Like it felt really weird, like to do our routine again. And it was like, I don't know, like. Yeah.
It was cool though. Gibbo wrote that song. In that day,
it was definitely cool.
There's going to be some stories from that time. I feel like on this record, because like the record as a whole, like the themes that we had for the record are kind of like happening right now. So like it's cool to be living through it while it's like happening.
Exactly. And the cool thing was like Gibbo was writing the sick riff, and we were working on that. But also at the same time, it was kind of like. It was whack because like Christian Jamie left, and we're like, okay, well we're definitely not recording the record now. So this demo was good and everything, but it's like it's not getting recorded now. Yeah. So it's like,
it was like bittersweet. It was like because I was still talking with Sam at that time. It was like coming up to my birthday, and I was like, fuck, I was supposed to be in Arizona, turning 30. We're gonna have like a wild night. We're gonna whatever party, and then go and do the record. And like my birthday was the night we flew out.
Yeah,
remember that? So it was like turning 30. 30 hours of transit home. Sick birthday, man. This is the best. Can't even go home and hang out with your friends for your birthday.
I know.
You just gotta be in isolation.
Like a little like a night before, like where we like tried to have. Oh, we did some like cooking. We got high every night.
Fucked up for my birthday.
Yeah, I can't remember the first night before our mate.
Remember we both you threw up and I nearly threw up on my birthday.
Oh, true. No, I did. Yeah, kind of like I threw up in my hand a little
Didn't we do 500 milligrams that night?
Yeah, it was something crazy. We're like, this is...
We were just like, this is the last night. let's just get as much as we
Yeah.
can with what we
Well, I'm
have
talking
left.
about the before that, like when we tried cooking the first night, we did like that all veggie platter because we had just done a massive shop, and we're preparing for staying there for the next 6 weeks.
Veggie platter.
So we had done so we did this huge shop, and then we did
Oh.
like these roast veggies. You remember?
Yep. The stuffed capsicums and shit.
Well, I don't even know if we did that. Did we?
Yeah. Because the next night was after the boys left, and then Vicky came over and we made the pasta and shit.
I was talking about the night that we did like the veggies where the oil leaked on the ground and we ended up like, almost setting
fucked
on
up
fire.
the oven. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
The roast
we
veggies.
tried
Roast
to cook
veggies.
While we were we tried to cook while we were cooked, and that was whack. The food turned out sick though. But like, then we invited our friend Vicky from Toronto over because it was just me, Bassy, and Gibbo. So we're like, let's just get Vicky over here and like hang out before we, can potentially never come back to Canada ever again. And so it was kind of like Bassy's like, I don't know, birthday party or whatever. And we ended up like trying to cook, and we had a FaceTime call with like all of Bearings and Kenny and
That's right. That was sick. That was funny. And then we were trying to cook with them, and you were high as shit, and I was trying to get you, and you were just like, I don't know what's happening with this food, man.
So I was like in charge of cooking, I think, and so I had like this veggie mixture going on here in the pan, and then I had like a saucepan. Bassy filled it with water, and he's like, put however much rice you think needs to go in this water. I was like,
he put half a fucking bag of rice in there.
Put 3 kilos of rice in the fucking pot.
We cooked so much rice. I just remember burning the whole bottom of the pan. Remember? The next day we had to wash it. Oh.
And it wasn't scrubbing off. It was still there before we left. But the food turned out sick. But like I could barely cook because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's happening right now.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was cool. Like Vicky didn't really say much that night. Our friend, like, I think we've talked about it in one of the other podcasts. Okay. So
So actually, we did talk about it in one of the other podcasts, and she did mention it the first show of the tour because she came to that first show, and I think we should maybe this could be like close to the end of this one.
Yeah.
Because like we're about to leave Toronto, so.
I can't remember the guy's name, but we talked about him.
I didn't even think we found out the guy's name. But he knows us, and he listens to the podcast. So, like, I feel weird right now knowing that. And he might be listening.
I'm sorry, buddy, dude. I'm sorry if you're listening.
I'm really sorry that I don't remember your name.
Though.
Yeah, no, thank you for being there that night. Thank you for... You're probably a legend.
He came to the show, didn't he?
He came to the show in Toronto on this tour.
He came to the show. So we talked about our friend who was buying us drinks in Toronto, like, that we met one night. And we talked about this guy that was with her that kind of
Vicky is our friend
and looked like he was dragged along.
Yeah.
And we didn't know if they were like together or whatever. Turns out they were together. And so we talked. I think we mentioned about like in the episode we said something about him being like a beta or something like that.
Yes, we did. Me. We did say that.
I said something kind of mean. And then he heard that episode and then showed Vicky.
Yeah, because Vicky hadn't seen or heard about the thing yet, right? And then Vicky came out. So Vicky came out to the Toronto show on the Sleep On Tour, and she's like, "You wouldn't believe it. Like, I didn't even know you guys had a podcast, but like my ex, who was that guy that was here last time, heard that you guys talked about him, and then showed me the podcast. Yeah. And as she said that, he was standing next to me at the bar.
Yeah, it was wild. But I kind of turned around like, oh my god, like, what the fuck is happening?
Fuck.
Which was common. Like, it was obviously probably like no hard feelings there or whatever. But like,
yeah,
I hope. But fuck, man, that was so funny because I remember what I said about him on the podcast, and I remember calling him like some sort of like beta or whatever. I felt like such an asshole.
I remember you saying that. Anyway, so Vicky came over. We had pasta. We got Vicky literally just watched us get fucked up that night. The night before my birthday, because the next day...
It was just me, Bassy, and Gibbo getting completely obliterated.
I think I have a recording of that night on my phone somewhere.
Good.
Actually, my phone started working, because remember my phone fucked up, but it started working again.
True.
So I randomly, like Kate just plugged it in her charger when we got home, and then it just charged and turned on. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, so, cutting this long story ever so short. That night happened, then the next day was the day we flew out. Right, so we ended up staying in Toronto for like an extra week, after we got across the border or whatever.
Yeah.
So we get to the airport.
No record recorded. Nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing recorded. We got some more demos happening, which is cool. We have so much music for this record, so hopefully we can fucking figure out. There is literally like, imagine music from like that sounds like the first record, and then imagine music that you wouldn't expect us to ever sound like.
Yeah. There is so much shit.
There's so much shit, and pretty much we're just gonna put all of that, hopefully, into a blender.
Yeah.
And then hopefully what comes out is the second record, right? Am I right?
Yeah, we'll just check out what we think is the next record. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we don't even know when we're going to record it because we really want to record with Sam, but he's in Canada and we can't fly him to Australia because he's not an Australian citizen. Maybe we can get him some citizenship, maybe we can't, but whatever.
At this point, we're still like kind of like working out other options. We're looking at going with our boy Stevie if like if we can't, whatever. I don't even know what's happening. I don't want to say one thing and then someone gets offended, but like. Either way, guys, regardless of who we're going with, we're
going to have a record out when we can. We're going to record a record when we're allowed to see each other.
Whoever we go with, I'm sure it's going to turn out great. I hope you guys are going to like it.
I feel like we're not going to just settle on this record because this is the big one for us.
Yeah. Make or break, baby.
Yeah. So anyway, we ended up getting home safe. Fucking 30-hour transit. You spent a bunch of money in fucking Hong Kong airport buying ramen and all this shit.
That's right.
We got like rows to us. There was literally like our flight from Toronto to Hong Kong, and it was jammed. There's like no free seats.
And we were the only ones not wearing masks.
We were the only ones not wearing. There was literally people in like full like hazmat suits on the plane, like the like science goggles from like grade 7 science class when you use the Bunsen burner. There was people literally next to me, like full face mask, full head covering, and everything, like all the way down. Legit. And then we get on our flight from Hong Kong home, and there's like 20 people on the flight, and everybody has a row to themselves, but no one's allowed in first class. And I was very angry about that.
But because we asked, we're like, "There's no one here," like because of the weight of the plane and stuff. Like, should we just sit in like first class? I was like, even or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. And the guy to our right was like, I asked the same thing. Don't worry.
Yeah. Anyway, we had it was so boring.
Oh, dude,
it was so weird. Like,
and we were like,
it was like a smaller plane.
We'll the podcast or whatever, and we're like, this is gonna be like sick. And then we realized like isolation was like legit, and we couldn't even see each other, like me and James or like whatever. So
we drove back to my place after we landed, and then that was the last time we saw each other. Really. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Wild times. Sure, and now this is probably like the first time we're talking since then, to be honest. Like we've texted each other like a tiny bit, but like we haven't really seen each other or talked to each other.
Yeah. I mean, like this is hopefully next episode it'll be in person. I don't know. I mean, this format kind of works. If it works. Comes to worse,
I mean,
but like,
if we can do it under the current law, it's still fine.
Exactly. So we'll try our best to be in person next time, guys, and drinking wine or whatever we're drinking.
Yeah. Be good to embrace. I haven't felt the touch of another man in a while.
Yeah. we've been rambling for quite a while.
I don't even know how long this extra episode went for. So this is a 2-part.
Like an hour and 20.
Imagine this was a 1-part episode.
Oh my, a 2 hour and 20 episode.
Nah, we've done good. I feel like we've covered the whole from Baltimore to now. Apart from like what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks, but we can cover that on our next episode or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's basically just been trying to just do viral TikTok videos.
I'm just been doing like fitness videos. Look at my hand, you and then you. See those band-aids? You look at them now.
Band-aid.
They're on my fingers.
Oh right, yeah.
So like today, I tweeted about it, and me and my high school friend we decided gonna try and do 50 pull-ups a day for the next 30 days. No, just like during the day, 50, and it's fucking hard. And I was like, I'm just gonna do them now, and I'm gonna like do like 5, have a rest, do 5, have a rest, and then
you were doing yours on though looked kind of whack.
Well, there's the only place I can do a pull. I don't have like a pull-up bar or anything, so it's like this brick block, right?
Like a brick cladded fucking.
Yeah, and I literally like those band-aids are there because I ripped the skin off my finger. And that was day 1, so we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Anything you, apart from like writing hit songs, that you are planning to do during quarantine?
quarantine. I'm gonna try and sort out my Twitch setup so I can eventually become a Twitch gamer. But
I
other
got
than that,
told
yeah, just write
from
songs.
someone that I'm getting a PS. They're gonna buy me a PS4 so I can play. So maybe I can join you one night.
Oh, wow, yeah, let's play some fucking Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, I'm not good at shooting games or anything
No, it doesn't
that's
matter.
not FIFA
Let's
or
just play.
NBA.
Let's just play some dumb shit. Let's play some fucking Minecraft or something.
Alright.
Stupid.
All right. We'll set something up. But we got to shoot. We got to do some shit for our Patreon. We're gonna do that video thing that you're talking about. We're gonna start watching
Whoa,
some TV
hang on,
show.
1 second. Audio's going.
You said we're
Alright,
gonna. You tweeted today that we're gonna watch some TV shows and review them
Yeah,
or some
true.
shit.
So me and Bassy want to do like this kind of book club thing where we each watch an episode of something and then we like kind of do a whole episode on it, like discussing that episode. So like,
Is that
we'll
gonna
watch
be
an
a
episode at
Patreon
time.
thing or is that gonna be like a normal thing?
I guess we can do it, but same thing. You know, we could upload it first here, and then like.
So we can have
we
like
can-
we should do like an offshoot of the Red Wine Good Time. We'll do like
Yeah, exactly.
RWGT review podcast.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's plenty of submissions that came in on Twitter. I'm surprised at how many people wanted.
Actually, I feel like
Just to
everybody's.
get to
I
know.
feel like everybody's online. So like
Yeah.
you're getting more time with
Interaction.
everybody and everybody that's following you because they
Yeah.
don't have anything else to do at the moment. Like everybody's
Exactly.
living their life
So,
through
like-
online. Like no, it's not a bad thing. It's not a
So-
sad thing. It's just like it's
Yeah.
good that we're trying to like keep it going. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. Like there was heaps of like comments saying like what we should watch, and I watched like half of the first episode of Love Is Blind. I think.
Okay, I haven't seen. Is this just like Married at
Hilariously
First Sight?
bad. Yeah, hilariously bad and cringy. Maybe we can do that as well. But like what me and James were thinking, we're doing One Tree Hill because Leah really wanted to watch it as well. And
What a
maybe,
show,
like,
mate! What a
me,
show!
Kate and Leah can all talk about it on the podcast. Who knows?
Yeah,
Might
maybe.
might be good to get.
I
some
feel like
extra
Kate
opinions.
doesn't like being on camera, but I will try and
We'll try and convince her.
yeah, I'll try and convince her.
Alrighty, guys.
You know, I'll sweet
Let's-
talk her.
Let's cap this bitch off.
Yeah, like we've been talking for a long time. It's been like 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm ready for some fucking dinner.
Thank you for listening. If you've listened this whole way, make sure, I don't know how you found us, but make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram, Red Wine Good Time. Oh, wait. Redwine.goodtime.
Yep,
Twitter, Red Wine Good Time. Email us if you need any questions on the next podcast. Because now that we've figured out that we can do this, we can actually probably pump out another one in the next few days.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a
Red
recap of what
Wine.
we've been doing since we've
Yeah.
been home or whatever.
So
But
if
yeah,
you guys
Red-
have any like advice, like questions you want advice on, email us at redwinegoodtimeadviceline@gmail.com if you want
That
any
was
questions that will be answered
was-
in the podcast.
Red RAD Wine WINE Good GOOD TIME for time ADVICE LINE for line Red Wine Good Time Advice Line @gmail.com. Wait. Can you hear that helicopter?
Yeah, I think it just died.
Anyway, I've been Bassy.
I've been JT. Peace out, guys. Thanks
Peace
for
out,
listening.
guys.
See next
Thank
time.
you so much for listening. Love you guys. Stay safe and stay inside. And don't cough on anyone.